So, to be a medium, you really have to understand how to create the sacred spaces, how to clear entities, how to clear energy, how to understand your clears. You have to understand how to ask questions, and you have to understand how to communicate. So, what I want to share with you today is you are spirit embodied into a human, right? You're a human, you are spirit. And when you're communicating with other spirits with no bodies, this is when we are going into this 5D energy, this fifth dimension. So they're right here next to us. We just can't see them. They have no bodies. And technically, they're in a different dimension. So we must tune in. This is where the clear audience comes in because you're tuning into that frequency, right? And communicate with spirit. But you need to understand there's no hierarchy here on planet Earth within the humans or within the spirit world. And what I mean by that is if you have been brought up to think that adults are respect adults or people with more money and more status are put on pedestals, then you may also believe that spirits and angels and spirit guides are on pedestals as well, that they are higher in the ranks than you are. This is not true because technically you are spirit, just kind of lucky to have a body. You're here having an experience on planet Earth. So I really want you to understand that you're the strongest entity in your reality. Something that in the Magnificent Mediumship certification, I am continuously saying thousands of times, you're the strongest entity in your reality, which means that nothing can hurt you. Nothing is stronger than you because you are powerful within your own rights. So when we're communicating with spirit and we're tuning in, we've created our sacred space and all the things, it is really important to ask the questions, but also to kind of, I visualize this a room that I'm in a room and I ask all spirits to stand out. And I just visualize opening a door and asking one spirit to step in. Now, this is something that I practice in obviously my programs as well, the certification, but this is something you can do and practice yourself at home now because practice of communication is key to being a mediumship and mastering it. Communication with the humans and communication with the spirit. Okay. So I like to visualize I'm in a room. I say, yep, next, come in, open the door. And I only ask for like one spirit to come through. And then I ask some very specific questions. I ask, like, are you here to be cleared? Do you need to pass over? Is that why you're here? And I go with my yes or my no. So, what do I feel with that? I usually have a pen and paper and I kind of like write what I'm feeling. The next question is, are you here to communicate with who I'm reading for? Or maybe you're just practicing on yourself. So, are you here to communicate with me? I'll get a yes or a no. The next question is, are you here to support me? Maybe they've just come in to support you. Maybe it's like a spirit guide who's come in to support you on your quest of being a medium and practicing. Maybe it's like a nana that's come in just to support you because she's a part of your spirit team. And she is like, go, I'm just here to like be your cheerleader, right? So are you here to support me in some way? Another question is, do you have messages that you want me to deliver? So when you get an understanding of your yes and no's, of course, and that is what we went through with the questions in the last video, then you can start asking these questions and you might go, okay, that spirit wants to communicate, but they also want to be cleared. So then I'd say, what is it you would like to tell me? And this is where it gets really cool because I sit there and I go, okay, spirit, slow down and I'm going to speed up at me. And I get like, I turn on all my clears. Like I expand, right? I expand and I expand and I go, hit me with what you need me to know. And I literally, like, it doesn't matter if it's 30 seconds or 30 minutes, everyone's different in their practice, but I receive the information, I write it down, and most of the time it makes no sense. Most of all, it makes no sense. But to the person I'm reading for, or to me, when I sit down with it, and it's like a puzzle pieces everywhere and I start bringing it in together, or I go about my day and I start seeing signs and synchronicities or talking to people or there's phone calls or books or whatever it is. it all comes together and it weaves absolutely beautifully into a story. So this is why communication with spirit is very, very important. It's very important to understand that you are spirit, you just don't have a body, and that there is no hierarchy system because spirit guides, spirit teams, angels, ancestors that came before us, yes, we can have a respect for them. But when we start putting other beings and spirit on a pedestal, it creates this and us, or them and us mentality, which means like we feel separated from. And this is why these people aren't walking around just talking to dead people because they think that there is a separation. So, yeah, there's a difference between we are solid and they are not. But when we tap into our senses and remember who we are, and we start to communicate in a way that is viable for both parties, if you will, and the different dimensions, we can find that sweet point. And this is where the mediumship becomes normal. So I like to see mediumship as absolutely a normal process. And I understand as that a sensitive being, as a human, as a clear channel, everything that I've shown to you in these last like 10 videos so far has definitely been absolutely something for you to attune into and strengthen. So communication and doing this often and making sure you got great communication with the humans around you, making sure you don't see anybody else on a pedestal like higher than you or lower than you for that matter as well. And knowing that to hold your standards, to hold your boundaries, to know what you're available for energetically is an absolute crucial part of mediumship mastery as well. Because the last thing that you want is to be available 24/7 for spirits and waking up in the middle of the night to a spirit standing there, or you're feeling that there's something there, or you're communicating in whatever way is kind of your strong point, and going, I'm trying to sleep. Why? Why are you here? And this has happened to me with, even though I've got very good standards and boundaries, I have had spirit step into my bedroom and like really try to talk to me. And I've said, get out of my room. I'm not okay with this. This is not okay. I will come to you and I will talk to you when I'm available, when I have my own spirit time and my own devotion practice. But until then, you can go away. Now, we can have too strong of boundaries. Other times, if I feel my nana or my granddad around, and I know that they're just here to be a contribution to support me, I'm like, hello, thank you for being here. I'm going to sleep now, or sending you love, but you start really attuning into what is energetically correct. If spirit is wanting to be cleared, which we have gone through that process in the earlier videos, and of course, there's so much more depth that we can go into when it comes to that, which I've got in my mediumship certification. But we can ask them that, or if they want to communicate, or if they want to support us. And then we don't need to make a big deal about these things. It just becomes an everyday occurrence for you. So I want to know, what has been your biggest aha? What has been the thing that you've remembered during this training? Because really, a lot of the aha moments may be human aha moments. But one thing I have learned, and I repeat this all the time, is to be human and to be spirit is actually to be a medium. It is not about learning knowing all the clears. It's not about the knowledge that you know. It's actually about applying it. It's actually about practicing it. It's actually about getting support with it and being with a vibe tribe that understands. And for me, it was having mentors that could understand and help me strengthen my own abilities to see the gaps that I have, because we do have unconsciousness within us because we have been programmed very profusely in our life. And when we start doing the deconditioning in our life, having people there to support you, whether it's a coach or a friend or a program, can be absolutely beneficial for your practice and for your communication with spirit. I will see you in the next video.